Most people think they have a money problem, but the truth is that they have a private inner conversation problem. And that conversation is recreating the same bank account. They think the issue is the economy, bad luck, timing, their job, their bills, their past, their family, lack of opportunity, lack of education, lack of connections, but that's not the real problem. The real problem is the conversation happening in the mind all day long. The hidden conversation, the one that nobody hears, the one you repeat so often that you don't even realize it's there. And that conversation is either building wealth or it's blocking it. And for most people, it's keeping them broke. Not because they're lazy, not because they're stupid, not because they're cursed, but because it's unconsciously rehearsing poverty in their minds every single day. They wake up and then they immediately think, I'm behind. They see the bills and they say, here we go again. They look at somebody else winning and they think, well, must be nice. Kind of like a backhanded compliment. They think of money and then they feel tension. They think of success and then they feel distance. They think of wealth and they feel like, well, that belongs to somebody else, that's not me. And then they wonder why nothing's changing. But let me tell you something that might completely shift the way you see manifestation, wealth, and your reality. Your life is not responding to what you want every once in a while. Your life is responding to what you repeatedly declare to be true. And this is the law that most people miss. Neville Goddard taught that your outer world reflects your inner state of consciousness. In other words, life mirrors who you are being, not just what you say you want. So if your inner conversation is full of lack, struggle, fear, guilt, frustration, self-criticism, then that's the state that you're going to be occupying. And that state keeps producing the same results. This is why some people can affirm all day and still stay broke. Because for 5 minutes a day, they say, money is coming to me easily and effortlessly. But then for the other 15 hours, they're internally saying, well, I don't have enough, nothing works out for me, I'm stressed, I'm behind, can't get ahead, I'm tired of this. The dominant conversation always wins. Not the occasional affirmation, the dominant conversation. That's what manifests. And this is where people get it wrong. They think manifestation is about saying the perfect words at the perfect time. It's not, it has nothing to do with that. It's about becoming aware of the mental atmosphere that you live in every single day. Because that atmosphere is shaping your results. So if your inner world sounds like a struggling person, don't be shocked that your outer world keeps reflecting that struggle. If your mind is constantly rehearsing disappointment, delay, rejection, pressure, then that becomes the blueprint. And a lot of people have been doing this for years. They've built an entire identity around hardship, and they expect things to go wrong. They expect money to leave. They expect opportunities to just pass them by. They expect people to overlook them. They expect success to take forever. They expect abundance to be hard. And then they call that realism, but that's not realism, that's just conditioning. And this is the dangerous part about this conditioning, because it can sound normal. It sounds responsible, it sounds like it's mature, it sounds like it's practical. It sounds like it's just, hey, I'm just being honest. I just don't want to get my hopes up. I've been through too much. I'm just trying to survive. I just need to be realistic about money. But if realism is keeping you in the same cycle, then maybe what you call realistic is self-sabotage. Because the hidden conversation is not harmless, it's just programming at the end of the day. There's no good or bad programs, it's just programs. Just choose which one you want to run. Because every thought you emotionally accept and repeat becomes a part of your identity. And once it becomes your identity, your behaviors change, your energy changes, your decisions change, and what you notice change. What you allow changes, what you expect changes, and eventually your results change as well. That's why I say you're not broke because of money. You're broke because of the version of you that mentally rehearsed that into existence. Now that might sound intense, but at the end of the day, it's really empowering, because if a version of you was created through repetition, then a new version of you can also be created through repetition. That means you're not stuck. But you do have to stop feeding the identity that keeps producing the same life over and over again. You have to stop agreeing with that story that says struggle is just who you are. You have to stop using your past as proof for your future. You have to stop narrating your life like someone who always loses. And this is where real wealth manifestation begins. Not with pretending you don't have bills, not with lying to yourself, but with catching the hidden conversation and replacing it into something that gives you a new identity. That's the work, that's the shift. And that's the line between people who stay stuck and people who start changing very fast. Because the wealth identity doesn't sound like it's the broke identity. A wealth identity doesn't internally speak from panic. It doesn't obsess over what it's missing. It's not constantly criticizing itself. It doesn't rehearse humiliation. It doesn't expect disappointment, in their lives. Wealth identity is different. It's calm, it's certain, it's available, it's secure, it's chosen, it's powerful, it's open. It says things like, things are always moving in my favor. Money is finding me in unexpected and expected ways. I'm always supported. I'm always available for big opportunities. I'm no longer having conversations that keep me small. My reality is catching up with my new self-concept. I am safe with wealth. I'm ready for overflow. I expect things to work out. I expect new doors to open. I expect my life to expand. Notice something? That doesn't sound desperate. It sounds like a new identity. And identity is everything. Because people don't manifest what they desperately chase. They manifest what feels natural to who they are. So let that sink in. If wealth feels unnatural to your identity, then you're gonna unconsciously reject it. You're gonna delay it, you're gonna distort it, mismanage it. And that's what you want. This is where a lot of people get opportunities and then they still ruin them. They receive money and then they lose it. That's why you see some people, get close to success and then they start spiraling because their hidden conversation is still belonging to that old self. Their bank account might change for a moment, but then their self-concept pulls them back. So if you want to change your financial life, then start listening to yourself more carefully. Not just when you meditate, not just when you affirm, not when you journal. Listen to yourself when something goes wrong. Listen to yourself when you're checking your bank balance. Listen to yourself when you see somebody else winning. That's the conversation that you have to pay attention to. Listen to yourself when you think about charging more for your services, when opportunities might appear. Listen to yourself when you're alone, because that's the real story that's hidden. And that's when you can hear it. That little voice saying, this won't last. I'm not ready. Who do I think I am? This is too good to be true. I always mess things up. Money leaves as fast as it comes. It's hard. I have to struggle for everything. Other people can do this, but not me. That voice right there, it's costing you millions. It's expensive. It's costing you years. It's costing you peace, your confidence, your income. It's costing you the life that you can be stepping into right now. And most people never challenge that. They just let it speak, and then they just let it narrate. They let it define them. They let it become familiar. But familiar doesn't mean it's true. Just because you've been thinking something for years, it doesn't mean it's a fact. It just means that you've practiced it longer. And whatever you practice, you strengthen. So the question becomes this: what have you been practicing internally? Have you been practicing wealth? Have you been practicing worry? Have you been practicing trust? Have you been practicing fear? Have you been practicing expansion? Have you been practicing limitation? Have you been practicing receiving, resistance? Because whatever you're mentally rehearsing is what you're becoming. Now, here's the part that changes everything. You don't need to wait for your outer world to change before you can start thinking differently. Now, that's the trap. Most people say, well, once I get money, then I'll feel more secure. Once I get the opportunity, then I'll believe. Once my life improves, then my inner talk will improve. It happens in reverse. Your inner talk must become the evidence before the outer world can fully catch up. That's called faith. That's assumption. That's the work that Neville Goddard was talking about. You assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled. You occupy the state. You speak from a new identity, and then your world recognizes that. And then it rearranges itself, and then it manifests in your world. But again, it's not about you repeating these affirmations. It's about ending the war in your mind. It's about refusing to keep talking to yourself like someone who's born to struggle. It's about interrupting the script, throwing that out, uninstalling that operating system, and then installing a new operating system. So first, you have to become aware. You have to stop letting your hidden inner conversation run on autopilot. You notice the phrases you repeat all the time. I can't afford that. I'm always behind. I never get lucky. I'm exhausted. All those things. I'm trying. I hope this works out. Even that phrase, I'm trying, it just reaffirms that you're never arriving, you know? It implies distance. It implies struggle. It implies that it's not there yet. The power shift is moving from trying to being. And secondly, replace the inner script in real time. Not later, not tomorrow morning, during your meditation or anything like that. In real time. And third, stop worshiping the evidence of your current circumstances. This is where a lot of people lose. They keep checking the outer world to decide if they should believe inwardly. But the outer world, that's old news. It's already a delayed reflection of the previous assumptions. So if you keep using that as your results for proof, nothing's gonna work. You're gonna stay locked in the same loop. Instead, you have to be loyal to the new conversation before the evidence even becomes obvious. Even if you don't see the full results yet. I'm no longer the same person. Even if the money hasn't landed yet, I'm available for wealth in multiple forms.